come to that point like, wow, I really need some help, those individuals can really help you through that process if you had an abortion. So I don't know any other resources, but I definitely know First Coast Women's Services. You can Google them and find out their contact information.
And that counseling piece is important.
Yes, very important.
Because just that having to have an abortion,
yes,
even if it doesn't play out at that particular moment,
definitely,
it may very well surface somewhere later in your life.
Yes,
because that's a big decision.
It is.
And at times a traumatic decision.
It is. Yes.
And I'm sure, especially as a young woman, to have to make that kind of decision.
Yes.
Would have some kind of effect on your life going forward.
Definitely.
Now, she talked about a lot of things. One of the things that she talked about was expectations. Because she had done well in her life, the bar was set for her to continue to do great things. And she saw that this pregnancy would have been taking her life in another direction. So she made a conscious decision that was not the path that she was going to take, that she was going to continue to do the things. But the blessing is that she turned that into something that she could use to help other women.
Yes.
And that's important. All of the experiences that we have, that we turn those experiences, even the negative ones, can be turned into something good.
And I was like, hearing her story, this reminded me of my own. When I had my abortion, the feeling that you have, you don't realize where that emptiness is coming from, as she mentioned, but sooner or later you realize, wow, that's the moment when my life truly changed. And like she mentioned, feeling like you having to be put on a pedestal and having to do everything right. And when that moment comes, you're like, oh gosh, I cannot allow it to change the direction of where I think my life should be going. So, in the work that I do as a life coach, certified life coach, I'm still, able to coach individuals as well that have been through those experiences, haven't forgiven themselves. And so I think it's very powerful, and I'm just grateful that, she's able to be transparent about it. I think a lot of us, have been through it, and, I've come through so many women as I share my story that can relate, and we can set each other free from that feeling like, wow, I didn't do, why did I do that? We look back on hindsight, I could have worked through that season of my life, but again, realizing that we can move forward from it.
And I like what you said, that transparency.
Exactly.
Because that transparency can help us to reach others.
Yes.
And that's what it's about.
Yes.
It's not just about us,
Exactly.
but it's about being able to help someone else.
Definitely.
So she had a very powerful testimony, and is doing great work.
Yes, using
in the lives of young
paying it
people.
forward.
Yeah, and paying it forward.
Definitely.
Coach Howard, thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you.
I'll be back in just a moment with some closing thoughts. After listening to Jinicka's story, we know that life is full with all kinds of circumstances and situations and expectations. Sometimes expectations that are put on us by others, sometimes the expectations we have put on ourselves. In any circumstance or situation where you find yourself having to make a choice or having to make a decision, just know that no matter what you choose, whatever choice you make, whatever direction you go in, that you can still survive and you can still thrive. Jinicka was able to take her life and use all of those circumstances and situations in order to help other women, much like herself. So just know that you can survive and you can thrive. Thank you for watching our show.